Ronel Blanco took the mound in his major league debut as a starter, got the win. Jose Abreu contributed with some RBIs. Let's talk about this and a good Astros first game win against the Angels on tonight's Locked On Astros.
Alvarez, it's a high drive, center field. Beer leans back. This game is turned upside down. There's the runner, fly ball down the right field line. Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker. This time they finish the job.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talk Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can they find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros.
Thank you guys for making us your first listen on YouTube. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up and become an everydayer. Somebody that listens to our podcast on your way home to work, on your way to work, your way home from work, on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check us out. Make us your everyday listen. Become an everydayer, and that's awesome. And today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code Locked On MLB for $20 off your first purchase. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. And I know a lot of people probably use that to go to the game tonight. That was an awesome experience. So we're going to talk a little bit about today's game. Much better game than the last game versus the Twins. You had a lot of offense, a lot of pitching. Ronel Blanco joined the rotation. Now the Astros have a six-man rotation. Bregman with a clutch hit. He's been hot recently. How hot? We're going to talk about that. And also we're going to talk about Tucker. He may be heating up as well as Jose Abreu. And then on the mound pretty soon, it's going to be Shohei Ohtani. I believe he's starting tomorrow. So there's some of the things we're going to be talking about in today's game. So I know in today's show. So I know you're at the game today, Brett. What are your takeaways from Ronel Blanco?
Well, you know, he did allow a lot of base runners. He kind of went to a trial by fire approach, but he got out of it. You know, he's just a few days removed from his longest start in Sugarland that I was actually at, and he went 6 2/3 innings, had 9 strikeouts, and so I thought tonight he did excellent. You know, he gave up the 1 run. Actually, he gave up the 2 runs. He gave up the solo shot there. But, you know, solo home runs don't typically beat you if you've got an offense like the Houston Astros. I thought he looked good. I thought he was poised. I thought he got it together early on. He was missing a lot of stuff high. When he was missing, he was way out of the zone. Diaz was in there. Diaz apparently did a good job calling the game for him, keeping him calm. And the guys settled in once they saw Reed Deppner's a couple of times. They basically jumped on him, and they took care of business. But Ronel Blanco did a phenomenal job going in there today. 5 1/3 innings, 7 hits, only 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. And so, look, he notches his first major league win. He puts Dusty Baker into 7th all-time, I believe, or 8th all-time with 2,126 wins.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yeah, he goes ahead of Bucky Harris. So, yes.
Yeah, so there you go.
So next is on the list. Yeah.
Bucky Harris is next. No, yes. He just passed McCarthy, is it?
Right. I think so. So Bucky Harris is next with 2158.
21,000. He's got a long ways.
I'm still working on interview stuff. I'm just doing this podcast.
Okay.
Dusty out tonight. So
well, look, Dusty Baker is going to have to probably manage for 100 years for that to happen. But anyways, great addition to the rotation. Look, you and I talked today about the trade talk and stuff. How we've got 3 guys down. We've got the 3 guys up. You've got JP France, who's pretty much dealing. You got Belak, who's doing a good job at Ronel. I mean, good job. You couldn't have asked, I think, for a better start. I mean, the only thing better he would have gone, hitless in those innings he was pitching. But you're not going to ask someone like him to do that first on the mound.
Yeah, so I know before today's start, the previous high of pitches for Ronel Blanco was 86 pitches. And a lot of people were like, I saw this on Twitter, I saw this in our little chat as well. Why did Dusty Baker bring him back out for another inning? Because he had a shortened bullpen. He had to use a lot of relievers in yesterday's game, so he only had X amount of relievers, and so he was trying to get as much as he could. And he wanted to push Ronel Blanco. And so he got him up to, I want to say, like 94, 95 pitches, something like that. But to his credit, he did get out of a lot of jams. And
Yeah, he
I
did.
know. And so I know in the first inning, he walked Mike Trout. That wasn't even a competitive at bat. Some of those pitches were way outside. And then Shohei Ohtani got that single, but then he struck out the next two batters. And then in
Right.
second inning, he got the bases loaded, but then was able to, I believe, get Shohei Ohtani to strike out in that situation. So he was able to get out of those situations for the most part. He had some movement. If you look at the Baseball Savant, he had 12 swings and misses on the game. So he was throwing pretty good pitches. It looks like some life on his pitches, and 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. I think the more he gets comfortable, I think there's a lot of nerves going into his first big league start.
In that big strikeout with bases loaded to Ohtani, I mean, he got him chasing that breaking pitch. I mean, Ohtani sold out. I think Ohtani was expecting a fastball because of the situation, and that's typically where, rookie pitchers, and I actually heard something interesting on SiriusXM today on Loud Outs, how a lot of times young pitchers, what they'll do is they will try to not make certain pitches, and then they'll over pitch. And I think that's what Blanco was trying to do early on. That's why the ball was not just missing, it was missing by a great deal. The Angels manager lost it when he got a third pitch called strike later in the game. I can remember if he was on the mound or if it was a relief pitcher. But it wasn't a totally egregious miss, but it was clearly not a strike, and it went the Astros' way. So you like to see that.
Well, Phil Nevin got thrown out of that game.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. No, yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like he blew a gasket. And I went and watched the replay. I was like, yeah, that definitely missed the zone. It didn't hit the bottom or the side.
It was low and outside, and
yeah.
I could understand why I think it was Drewy who actually had the calls against him. But I think that the Astros have seen a lot of calls like that, and we saw Centrone get run the other day, but the umpires are just they're not getting any love from teams across baseball. And maybe it's a need for.
It was actually Taylor Ward.
Taylor Ward.
Okay. Yeah. Taylor Ward. It was actually low and inside because it was really at his ankles. But look, that's going to happen. Baseball is going to baseball. And until you get robo umpires, you're going to have that kind of stuff. When you get robo umpires, you're not going to get those calls anymore. So I guess enjoy them when they go your way while they last, because it's coming, folks. It's come out. I would be shocked if it doesn't start happening next year.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But let's talk about some offense in a second. We know that Bregman came through with some big hits, and Abreu is finally starting to just come through with some hits. And I know you went to the game, awesome experience. And how can our listeners get to the game if they don't have a tickets at the last minute?
Well, they can go to Game Time. I mean, you don't have to have a ticket weeks in advance. You don't have to plan ahead. If you and your family decide to jump in the car and go to Minute Maid Park in downtown Houston, just grab the Game Time app, download it to your phone. It's free. Once you download and you create your own profile, you use the promo code Locked On MLB for $20 off your first purchase. But it's not just baseball games. You can go to a Houston Dynamo game. You can go to a comedy show. You can go to a play. If your wife wants to go see the opera, if you want to go see a Broadway play, whatever, go check it out. And you can wait till right before the game or right before the opening act comes on. You don't have to fumble through your email. It's right there on the app, 2 clicks and you're in. And this special thing, if you find a seat in the same section, the same row for a cheaper price on a different website, then Game Time will basically refund you 110% the difference of that ticket. You can put that towards another purchase. So make sure you check out Game Time. Download the app. It's easy to use. Game Time, the lowest prices, the best seats that are out there. Check out Game Time today. And the Astros do play the Angels on Friday night, 7:10 Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. We're sparking forward. It got the plays. Search Astros, and then eventually you'll be able to find all the Locked On Astros podcast on that same app as well.
All right, so Bregman, since moving to the fourth hole in the lineup, he's actually not walked a lot. Like today was his first walk since hitting cleanup, but we've seen him kind of have an uptick in his batting average, and he's been having a lot more production because he's looking to drive the ball more instead of just trying to get on base. In fact, he's on 8-game hitting streak. He's batting .406 in his last 8 games, and he had a big 2-run single in this game that actually gave the Astros the 4-2 lead at that time to give Ronel Blanco his first major league win. And in the last 30 days, Bregman ranked second on the Astros behind Alvarez in every offensive stats, RBIs, batting average, slugging percentage, OPS. And so he's also joined the 30 RBI club on the Astros. So we see Alex Bregman starting to make those baby steps up to becoming the player that the Astros thought he would be, especially after that great season he had last year. So sometimes you have to be patient with some of these guys. And Bregman's been playing every day. And so that's what you have to do. You have to keep on playing them. And eventually they're going to go back to what they're supposed to be.
Well, and he's traditionally a slow starter. I mean, anybody in Houston knows that. If you have a pulse and you watch baseball and you're an Astros fan, you know that Bregman historically is a slow starter. You know, Tucker had the hot start. We talked about Tucker starting hot. Bregman started cold, and they're kind of leveling out a little bit. But Kyle Tucker, dude, 3 for 4 tonight, huge game. And I mean, you can't say enough about Bregman getting the hit, about Tucker going 3 for 4. And I was in section 100 of the Crawford boxes tonight. Man, I wish Abreu would have pulled that ball just a little bit more. That ball was about 15 feet from our seats. It was really close. And I literally said, I brought my glove to catch Abreu's second home run. Dang it. I was so close, but yet so far away. Right. You know, one of my concerns going into this with the offense, hasn't been Bregman, because Bregman's been heating up. I knew Tucker was going to figure it out. But one of the things that gives me hope about Abreu, and I talked about this with Ben DeBose the night before at the game, is that he's been late on everything, which indicates his timing's off, not that there's an injury, right, or whatever. So he'll eventually figure it out. And tonight, man, when he hit that ball, I mean, he contributed with 2 RBIs. 2 of those 5 runs were because of Jose Abreu. So he contributed. And his defense, we don't talk about this enough on the show. His defense has been excellent lately. He's been working first base, and I think he's probably playing the best defense at first base that I've seen Abreu play in his whole career, and that's definitely a positive sign.
Yeah, the best thing is that he's like smooth. He's like, if you look at that double, he didn't like try to crush the ball. He's just like smooth and compact swing.
And he actually extended his arms more, Eric. Yeah. He looks like he's more comfortable at the plate. He doesn't look hesitant, and look, it's between your ears. I think, was it Barris said baseball is like 90% mental, the rest is physical, or something like that. I'll have to pull up his great quote that he had about that. But I think it's been between the ears for him. I think it's been a confidence thing. I think it's been a new place. Imagine Jose Abreu becoming the clutch hitter he is in the playoffs. And that's why you got him. That's what we need. We need him to find his way when we get to the playoffs and be clutch Abreu. Because again, remember, before he came here, 311 lifetime with runners in scoring position.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. But I got really excited with that foul ball in the early game. I forgot what inning it was, but that was crushed.
Oh, yeah. We all thought it was gone. Yeah, we were like, like we were cheering, high-fiving each other, and then we're like, oh, wait, it was foul?
Yeah.
We couldn't tell.
And that double that he hit, that was 107.9 miles per hour off the bat. Launch angle is 17 degrees. It went 382 feet of and expected batting average of 650, and that would have been out of 8 out of 30 ballparks. So unfortunately, not Minute Park. It would have gone out of Wrigley Field, Guaranteed Rate Field, his old ballpark, Dodger Stadium, American Family Field, Citizen City Field, Citizen Bank Park, Petco Park, and Oracle Park.
Oh, wow. There you go. The whole list. Eric named them all, But seriously, it is so hard when it goes over by that foul pole. Like, I don't care how much you watch that ball. It's so deceptive. It's almost like the foul foul pole is so big, it just throws everything off. Because once that ball gets in that corner, it's like a black hole, But this team had fun tonight. Corey Julks got a big hit. The offense looked good. They did. They didn't score 10 or 12 runs, but they scored 5 runs, and they were productive hits. But okay, what was Pena doing stealing when Alvarez was at the plate? Like,
he was safe. He just lifted his I forgot it was his arm.
I know, but when Jordan's at the plate, and this team doesn't have a good history of base running, why in the heck are you taking the bat
out
stealing?
Of People are stealing left and right with the shorter distance between bases.
This is the Astros. With the shorter bases, we're still not great on the base pass. My key point is Alvarez is at the plate.
Yeah.
You don't take the bat out of his hand.
That way you can score on the single. They're trying to get the upper hand. When the Astros offense is struggling, you try to get the upper hand, and that's what he did. You can't, the Astros won.
I know, but it's Jordan at the plate. You don't take the bat out of your best hitter's hands, especially when he hasn't gotten a hit, I don't know. I'm just saying, base running is probably the least favorite part of the Astros game.
Oh, you're talking about the one where, okay. I remember that. He actually struck out. Alvarez foul tipped.
He did strike out, but it was a strikeout, throw him out. And so, what's funny is I didn't realize at the time that it was the third strike and that it was a strike him out, throw him out. I thought that he had 2 strikes on him, but still.
No, it was a strikeout, not a caught stealing.
But so if he strikes out and Pena's on first, I don't know. Look, quit making base running errors. If the bases are shorter, you shouldn't be getting thrown out, period. So
that was actually Alvarez's fault, not Pena's fault there. Booyah.
Okay, true. He missed the baseball. Okay. That makes sense.
But he could have been trying to protect Pena. He saw Pena running, so
that's true. Okay, there you go. Okay, that was
the third out. So
and honestly, that sometimes is a fault of going to the game that makes it tough talking about the game afterwards, because you don't tend to pick up on, it took me an inning to realize, oh wait, that was a double play. Basically, I honestly I thought that was only the second strike on Alvarez. And I thought that the third out was Pena. So anyways, okay.
No,
I guess I got distracted. Yeah.
No, Alvarez was struck out, and that was third
struck out. So that's 2. The third out was Pena. Okay. No. We got it. Move along. No. What?
No, there's 2 outs before that play, and then Pena, then Alvarez struck out.
Oh, okay. So Pena wasn't even tagged out?
No, that's what people in comments, and that's what I've been trying to tell you. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
because it took me a second to remember what play you're saying. So.
I confused myself then. Sorry, guys. You know what? Y'all do a great job following along. Sometimes I miss details. It's okay.
You know what? So that's almost why it's almost better sometimes to not go to the game.
And no, you're right.
Just go to Hooters of NASA and other Hooters across Houston and just watch the game live there and just have some great food. So go and tell us about Hooters.
Yeah, so check out Hooters and the world famous Hooters girls at all the local Hooters restaurants. They are our new sponsor for Locked On Astros. Go cheer on Chase Elliott on race day. You can get 8 boneless wings and a 32-ounce Busch Light special edition cup for $16. That's right, only $16. You'll want to go check it out. They don't just have wings. They have it, they're not just bone-in wings, it's boneless wings. They have sandwiches, they have salads, anything you want to basically from brews on tap to whatever food you want out there. It is the place to go. It is a place to watch Astros games. Any Hooters restaurant, whether you are in Pearland, Webster, or any part of the Houston area, just look up for your local Houston area Hooters and tell them that Locked On Astros sent you. Let them know that we enjoy the wings. Eric and I enjoy the wings, and I enjoy I love the Daytona Beach style wings. I know Eric, he loves typically boneless wings or tenders, and he likes the original wing sauce. And when we go there, we have a great time. The food is great, the service is phenomenal. And again, check out their new Cheer on Chase Elliott Race Day bundle, 8 boneless wings, 32-ounce Busch Light Special Edition cup for $16. Check them out today.
All right. Don't forget, Shohei Ohtani is going to be on the mound versus Framber Valdez. It's the matchup of the century. It literally is, because you got 2 aces on the mound. So this is something that you don't get to see outside of opening day situations. So if you don't get to watch the game or get to go to game or go to Hooters and watch the game, go ahead and check it out on SiriusXM. First pitch is at 7:10. Go and catch all the play-by-play on the SiriusXM app. Just go and it's on SXM on the app. Just search Astros and you can hear all the great plays, and hopefully the Astros are going to have a victory against Shohei Ohtani and the Angels. So let's go ahead and look at that matchup. That's going to be, any more closing thoughts about today's game? Yainer Diaz had a big RBI hit. He had a home run the other day. He looks like
Abreu looks good. Hector Neris kept up his scoreless streak. He's got the longest scoreless inning streak.
Montero did good.
I know. I'm getting there. Hold on. Okay, Eric. You asked me my final thoughts and you interrupted me with that dramatic crap. Okay. Hector Neris coming into the game had not allowed a run in his last 17 appearances, 15.1 innings pitched, now 16.1 innings pitched, and it ranks as the largest and longest scoreless streak of his career, and also the current longest active streak. And you love to see Montero get up there. Montero has had a lot of criticism this year. I think a lot of people see the contract he signed and assume that he should be perfect every time he touches the mound. 2 strikeouts, only 1 hit, and then your guy Presley comes in and gets another save, his 11th save. You know, he started a new streak. He basically had the longest save streak until his last blown save, dating back to last year. So, you know, all the people kind of have this recency bias. Whenever a relief pitcher does bad, they're like, he's terrible, he's horrible. Why is he our closer? Why is he our relief pitcher? Well, look, they're going to mess up. They're not perfect. And I think all the relief pitchers look good. Look, they did use 1, 2, 3, 4. They did use 4 relievers, but they were minimal use. 2/3 of an inning for Neris, 1 inning for each Abreu, Montero, and Presley. So you finish the game with 9 strikeouts overall, only giving up 2 runs on 11 hits. I'll take it, and I'll take the win.
All right, yeah. Through the first 2 innings, you had Blanco throw 46 pitches. So there is a little bit of worry that he would not make it too deep into this game. So I think the fact that they used the bullpen that they did, I think Dusty Baker is happy and satisfied, and everything's good and golden, especially with Shohei Ohtani on the mound versus Framber Valdez. On the next day, you definitely think that their Astros are probably a little bit more confident, and maybe Framber Valdez going deep in this game. Shohei Ohtani, the history between the 2 teams, they have faced them a lot, of course. Abreu is actually batting .429 in 7 bats versus Ohtani. And if you look, Martin Maldonado has a home run against him. I actually remember that. And Kyle Tucker is batting .118 with a home run against him. And Bregman is batting .375. Altuve is batting .292. So those are people that have had success against Ohtani. He's 5-1 with a 2.91 ERA on the season with 90 strikeouts. So he's having a pretty good season. And Valdez is 5-4 with a 2.38 ERA, 77 strikeouts. Run support hasn't always been there for him. And if you look at who's had some success against him, it's been Ohtani with a home run, Neto with a home run, and Walsh with a home run as well. So, and then some other guys batting 400, like Ward is batting 420 at bats. But Ohtani overall is batting 143 against Valdez.
Look, Ohtani against Houston overall is 220 lifetime, Eric. He does have 11 home runs in those 71 games. Ohtani and Trout typically don't really show up as a big threat to the Astros. We keep them baffled. And I know Trout hates facing Valdez. I mean, when you call Valdez saying he's got the nastiest hook in Major League Baseball, you know that Trout respects him. And that was one of the scarier things tonight about Ronel Blanco. Not that Ronel Blanco was on the mound, but that he was facing Ohtani and Trout. And that in a second that these guys can turn on a baseball and absolutely destroy not only a baseball, but destroy the confidence of the pitcher on the mound. But, even if you got a couple solo shots from them, you still beat them because you scored the 5 runs. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I look at a box score for the Angels and I see Ohtani, Trout back-to-back, and they lose 9-4. So pitching is still their Achilles heel. I think going into the next game, I think Framber Valdez is able to take Ohtani. I think we do our business. And over the next 3 games, I think we take 2 of the next 3, and I think we could take 3 of the 4 from this series. We'll be sitting pretty because now we're 2.5 back of the Rangers.
If you look at the Angels pitching overall, I'm trying to find it. Why are they so hard to see? Oh, there they are. Their ERA is 4.23 on the season. The Astros still have the best at 3.25. The Twins, 3.45. The Mariners are at 3.64, but their offense can't seem to score a lot of runs for them. And if you're looking where the Rangers are, their ERA is 3.68. So they're doing a lot of it with offense and outscoring a lot of teams. And so it's going to be interesting to see what prevails in a long 162-game season. Is it going to be the team that has the better pitching or the better offense? And at this point, you could say the Rangers have the better offense, but that could change. Who knows what the Astros will do at the trade deadline? I know you and I did a show earlier today looking at Dana Brown's comments over the past couple of days and what we think could happen, but we don't know. It's just too early to really say what's going to happen. We know that they're going to have to make some additions at the trade deadline because there's too many holes. As Marco said, they're still dangerous. They just need to score more, and they need to score more often. And that's too many times they have a great game. The next game they give up. They only score like 0 or 1 or no run or 2 runs or something like that. So they got to be more consistent overall.
Yeah, exactly. And just to wrap the show up, great job by the Houston Astros to get the first win of the series, a 4-game series. This has been a great show talking about the Astros getting a win in Houston at Minute Maid Park. That's all we got for tonight, folks, because we got the weekend coming up on us, and we are looking forward to talking post-series. So any final thoughts?
No, just go ahead and knock Shohei Ohtani out in the 3rd inning or something, and that way you don't have to face them anymore. But I think it's going to be an epic game tomorrow, and we'll see what the rest of the series turns out to be.
All right, sounds good. All right, so for myself and Eric the Man Huysman, this is – what is that? I don't know what that was. We're trying to go into the night smoothly. That's right. Your Locked On Astros podcast. I'm H-Town Wheelhouse. He's Eric Huysman. You can find us on Apple, Google, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tell your friends about us. Tell your family about us. Get her on the TV and watch our show before the game. Check out our Dana Brown show if you missed it, and the Drew Gilbert show I filmed with Lindsey Crosby. Y'all have a good one. We are out. Let's go Astros. And remember, they play Friday night, 7:10. Catch every pitch of the hometown broadcast on the SiriusXM SXM app. Search Astros.